In the entertainment world, Shep Gordon's name is magic. Over his long career as a manager, agent, and producer, Gordon's worked with an array of stars, from Bette Davis and Salvador Dali to rocker Alice Cooper and celebrity chefs like Emeril Lagasse and Wolfgang Puck. Gordon's new memoir is titled They Call Me Supermensch, a backstage pass to the amazing worlds of film, food, and rock and roll. I spoke with him recently at the restaurant Aureole just off Broadway here in Manhattan. Your career really started with a punch in the face.
It did, yeah. I'm a lucky guy.
It was 1968 at this LA hotel, and Shep Gordon thought he was helping a young woman in distress.
She was actually making love. She punched me. I separated the two people. She punched me. It was Janis Joplin. And it was the luckiest day of my life.
Janis Joplin would introduce him to Jimi Hendrix, who'd introduce him to Alice Cooper. And Shep Gordon's life would never be the same. Alice Cooper was nobody at that time.
Right, so was I. Alice says we met on a lie. He told me he was a singer. I told him I was a manager.
So you cooked up some pretty kooky ideas to get noticed.
Yeah, we went a little crazy.
It was Gordon's idea for the band to get busted for indecent exposure.
So we made up clear plastic, our big mistake. We made up clear plastic suits. They went on stage. I called the police, 911.
You called the police?
I called the police from a phone booth.
Said what?
I said, I'm at this club called The Experience on Sunset. These transvestites are on stage. They're completely naked. I have my 8-year-old daughter in the club.
How quickly did the police come?
They came, I would say 3 minutes. They came 3-4 minutes. In that 10 minutes on stage, the heat of their bodies fogged up the plastic.
So you couldn't see anything?
You couldn't see anything. The police walked in and they left. And we all sat down afterwards and said, okay, we actually couldn't get arrested.
As Alice Cooper broke through, Gordon's client list grew. Blondie, Anne Murray, Raquel Welch, Teddy Pendergrass, and Luther Vandross, who one night refused to go to the American Music Awards because his pants cuff was too long.
And I said to him, what if Bob Mackie will drive with us to the American Music Awards in the car and fix your pants? And he said, you're kidding me, you know Bob Mackie? And I said, he'll be in the car with us.
You got Bob Mackie?
No, Bob Mackie was in France.
But the costume designer's partner, Ray Agayan, was available.
And Ray agreed to drive with us in the car to the American Music Awards. And Mackie and Agayan made Luther's clothes till the day he died. But that moment, those kind of things,
yeah,
that's what gives you power with an artist.
You managed Groucho Marx?
I did. Alice actually introduced me to Groucho Marx. I walked into Groucho's house, and in bed was Alice and Groucho Marx watching TV in gray Mickey Mouse ears that said Groucho on it. And I ended up managing him for a couple of years.
What was that like?
It was unbelievable. I mean, he was just, you know, he'd say, you're Shep, my manager? And I go, yeah, Groucho. Funny, I don't look like a crook. That was, you know, everything was a shtick.
How did you take the turn to cooking?
I had as a middle-aged guy, I'd say in my 30s, I realized I was at risk. Mm-hmm. I was too successful.
Too successful?
Yeah, just too, in a Hollywood kind of way. You know, I had the white Bentley and the Playmates and the drugs and nightclubs and just, but I could see I was at risk.
How did you know you were at risk?
I could see all around me, people dying, people unhappy. Nobody was happy.
Then Gordon met a chef named Roger Verger. He writes, he was the calmest, most beautiful, quiet pool of light I had ever seen in my life. Gordon would ask him to become his mentor.
At some point, I felt like I owed him to get dignity for his profession. I saw the way he was treated, and they were treated horribly, the chefs.
Yeah.
Horribly.
You have our seasoning, our shrimp.
So in the early 90s, he created an agency to promote chefs. He'd sign up nearly 100, including Wolfgang Puck, Daniel Boulou, and Emeril Lagasse.
You know, everyone told me I was crazy. Mm-hmm. How could you represent chefs that don't make anything? You're out of your mind. You've now gone, everybody in the music business was completely convinced that I had now gone completely off the map. All my clients thought I was insane.
In a way, you kind of created the celebrity chef.
I'm giving credit for creating, but I don't think I created as much as exposed it. I think the demand was there when I started.
Gordon worked with the chefs pro bono. He never charged them, he says. It was not his only unusual business practice.
I never signed a contract with
You
anyone.
never had contracts?
Never had contracts.
It's a handshake.
Yeah, handshake. Because I didn't want that moment. I mean, if you don't feel I'm giving you value, if you think this is a one-sided relationship, go to someone else.
It's so outside what the industry norm was.
Yeah, everything I did was sort of outside the industry norm.
But when you put all the things you've done side by side, which has the most value to you?
I would say Alice getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is probably the moment of my life that I was proudest of. We started on the bottom. If you had to take out a piece of paper and put the odds in Vegas, the betting against Alice Cooper, ever getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was, I mean, just insane.
I mean, it is an amazing achievement when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how you made it in today because I'd still be talking to him.
I could have talked to him for days. I mean, and he's got so many more
genius.
stories. It's such a wonderful book, and he's such a wonderful guy. And he's had an absolutely amazing life.
He seems
knows it.
humble, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.